Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Rob Bentley, and thanks for tuning in. It's postseason time. Today we'll talk Bulldog hockey, men's and women's basketball as they all get set for postseason play. And first up, Bulldog hockey and head coach Bob Daniels. And Coach, welcome back to the show.
It's good to be here, Rob.
Hard to believe the end of the regular season now complete with a series against Michigan this past weekend, and now you're into the postseason.
Boy, it is hard to believe. You blink and all of a sudden the season goes in front of you, and we're excited about having the bye again. It's I think our fourth or fifth year in a row having the bye. It's good to have it, and you know, this year more than any year, I think, in terms of getting some guys back and healthy, the bye is going to come in handy.
Before we get to that Ohio State series and talk about that, we'll recap the past weekend at Michigan and certainly two physical, tough games down at Yost Ice Arena.
Well, one was, Rob, and one we just prefer to forget the Friday night game. I thought we were less than our best in that effort. I thought it was somewhat lackluster. I'm not sure why that was the case. I'm really not. But, you know, for some reason, too, in the second half of the year, we've had some trouble on Friday nights. And for whatever the reason, we did not have a great game. And in a rink, really, that I think it's a lot like our arena. There's a lot of atmosphere that's brought on by the crowd. And for us not to experience that or be able to feed off of that was really disappointing. Now on Saturday night, we bounced back and really played well. That was a whale of a hockey game. That was as good a hockey game as we've been involved in all year.
As we go to the highlights of Friday's game, taking on a Michigan team that certainly had its share of lumps early in the year, but a team playing well coming into the series.
Boy, are they ever playing well. And you know, throughout the weekend here, and certainly on Friday night, they were on top of their game, and we weren't, you know, in regards to the way we played. But you can't take anything away from Michigan. They've got, for one of the first times all year, too, I think they're healthy on the D-core, and that's as good a D-core as you're going to face in our league. They're getting some good goaltending. But realistically, on Friday night, we didn't challenge their team at all. You know, not like we can. And you know, boy, it was a tough night in terms of sleeping after that loss. And this is you're going to see about the only bright spot on the weekend or on the Friday night was our special teams. We scored a power play goal. We held them 0-4 on their power plays, and in that regard, we were really happy with the way we performed.
Seemed like Michigan did a nice job defensively, goaltending, and certainly limited your chances offensively.
They did, and they're too good a team for us not to play with you know, right on the edge. When they're playing as they are right now, and they did limit our chances. I didn't think we were willing to pay the price physically to get in the areas we need to be good in. And you know, realistically, I thought they kind of owned the front of our net, and we were owned, and we couldn't get around their goal at all, and it was pretty disappointing, really.
After a tough loss like that, 4-1 on Friday night, what was kind of the focus, the adjustments as you get ready to play on Saturday and come back in the second night?
Well, Rob, there was really, this is what we had to tell our guys. There was few adjustments we could make going into Saturday because we didn't play well enough Friday to even know what the adjustments should be. You know, like sometimes you play well, you lose, you say, okay, well, there's some things we can tweak. We didn't play well enough to know what was working or what was not working. And I thought the captains did a tremendous job Saturday preparing the team to bounce back and play a better game. I thought our seniors stepped up, and from that point on, the only thing, you know, we really wanted to do, we changed our forecheck a little bit. We tried to put a little bit more pressure on the defensemen. We didn't think we sustained any play in there under the ring, so that was one area we were looking to improve on.
As we go to Saturday's game, certainly both games on national television, Bulldogs come back a much better showing here in the Saturday night game.
Yeah, it really was, and you know, our players have an awful lot of pride, and like I said, we had some great senior leadership. We give up the first goal, but as time wears on, we start playing better. And I thought our best hockey really came the last 10 minutes of the third period and overtime, where I really felt like all of a sudden we started carrying the play. We had the best chances. We knew we needed to get this win here in order to clinch fourth and get home ice in that second round.
Bulldogs going to score here soon. Zach Dorr, first collegiate goal, and certainly nice to see him get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it really was. It was a good goal for him. We had thrown enough pucks at the net on Saturday where we deserved an opportunity to score, where we deserved a break, and I thought we caught a nice bounce there. And then, you know, here's a really good. This is what I liked about us better. It was a nice stand in front of our goal. CJ made a good save, and we got a little physical right around our net and didn't let them push us around. But you can see that you get some opportunities here early, but by the time we hit third period and overtime, I felt like here's one of 2 breakaways that we have, but I thought we were the team that was carrying the play.
Both goaltenders played exceptionally well here in this game.
Yeah, they really did. I think Michigan's breathing a sigh of relief now. They've got some decent goaltending. You can see right now we're challenging. We're in overtime. Here's another breakaway. It would have been nice to seal the deal. We pulled our goalie, which is really unusual in overtime for a team to go ahead and pull their goalie to try to get the win. But we knew we needed all the points. If we lost, we lost. That wouldn't change the standings. But if we win, then we get home ice, and that was a big deal for the team.
Obviously, the game finishes 1-1 in overtime, and Bulldogs lose the shootout. But as you move on now, you're into the playoffs, and certainly a very good Ohio State team coming up here in the second round.
Yeah, you know, just about anyone you're going to play right now in the CCHA is going to be good. Ohio State's no different. They've got a very good team. They've got, you know, a couple forward lines that are about as good as you're going to see. I think the matchup's really good. I think the teams are really close, very similar styles. So we haven't seen Ohio State now for a little while, but realistically, we've played enough over the last few years to know that there's not a big difference in the way each team approaches the game.
You have a week off here. Bulldogs one of 2 teams over the last 4 years to get a bye in the first round, along with Miami, and certainly another bye week helps your team get ready to play Ohio State down there.
Rob, that's a really good point you bring up about the bye and our 4th year in a row getting it. Since we went to this new format, there is only 2 teams in the conference that have received that bye each and every year, and it is us and Miami, and that's something we take a great deal of pride in as we say goodbye to the CCHA. It's wonderful to know that, you know, in the last years of the CCHA that we were certainly as good as there was in the league.
Bulldogs taking on Ohio State March 15th through the 17th. All 3 games, 7:05 p.m. starts if necessary, of course, on Sunday. And what would it mean for the Bulldogs to be able to go in and win that series and have a chance to go to Joe Louis Arena in the final year?
Well, for us, it's the only opportunity we have now is to win the playoffs outright to get to the NCAA tournament. It's something we would like to do. Knowing that it's the last year of the CCHA, you know, for us, it would mean a lot. It's not something we can really talk about too much. It doesn't really have a bearing on how we perform, but certainly it would mean a great deal to me and Coach Famulak and Kaufman, who we've all been in the CCHA for a number of years now, and you know, for us it means a lot, and I would love to see our program advance and get to Joe Louis Arena. What
will be some of the keys for the Bulldogs traveling down to Columbus to take on Ohio State?
Well, pretty much I'll go with the standard keys for any playoff series, and that's going to be number 1, you got to get good goaltending. Number 2, you got to be disciplined, and then number 3, you got to win the special team battle. And so for us, all those points come into play. And if we do those things, we play up to our capabilities, we got a good chance.
Well, Coach, best of luck to the Bulldogs as you get ready to head into the postseason, and certainly enjoy the weekend off and get ready to take on the Buckeyes.
Thank you, Rob.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.